Hello and welcome back to the OCS. We're almost at the end of the day. Fifth game is coming up. I am Bryce, this is Vandy. Welcome to our desk. It's fancy, it's made of glass. It's quite reflective. You can see the OCS logo right there, but it's actually back
from
there.
The light.
Yeah, Order Academy versus Legacy's Genesis coming up.
This is a spicy one.
Yeah, I think it is too.
Well, Legacy, they had a really good week last week, and you know how I kept harping on about Mprox's solo lanes? A little bit stays true in terms of Legacy. They really had a good time with their top and mid, so that was Moogie and Appy.
Yeah.
Which was a really... Which was really just opening up the map for them. Remember how you said you had one of those brain moments?
Yeah.
That was me.
That
I
was
tried to say like 5 words at once, and I got
was-
none out.
That was definitely a mouth moment.
It was
That was just like
definitely.
a verbal vomit.
Sorry. You got one.
I didn't need that in my life. But yeah,
Sorry.
I can
wow.
agree, right? This is the new top laner coming in. Chungy's no longer on the lineup, I don't believe. Won't be seeing him for the rest of the split. But
Miss
Appy,
Chungy.
yeah, Appy coming through. And the big question last week was like, can he fit in? Like Legacy, they have this style. They like to flex around all over the place, but certainly did look the goods, I expect, there. And Legacy trying to continue the success that they've kind of had for the majority of this split, sitting 5-2 right now. They want to be joining the likes of the other guys that have now, like on the Dire Cubs, sitting at that 6-2 mark.
Absolutely. That's a really nice way that you put it. It's always hard for a newcomer when you come into this roster and everyone's kind of got their play styles and you're like, okay, whose shoes am I filling? And they kind of give you a style and it's either I can work with this or you start to clash, and that's where it can take a couple more weeks for things to start to cement in.
Yeah.
For a lot of these teams, you're starting to see really they do start to gel. We're seeing a lot of the same names now week on week. So I think a lot of teams have found the roster that they find ideal, or at least the players that they find quite ideal.
Yeah, I think that's super important, right? Like this week has been a week of fairly stable rosters because it was every game. I'm just like, all right, guys, let's go into champions. Like who's playing?
Who's new today?
Oh,
Ooh.
okay, this guy. There's like 7 new faces on the board. But yeah, like as things have kind of settled down, I will say the words "settled down" don't really make sense in the hands of Order. Series is still going to be their coach. Vans is still in the roster. That's been the one big change for them so far. They have their main lineup, but they've just been doing whack stuff. They've played like the quadruple TP with the Sona, support in the 80 support down there. They've played like the Talia Pantheon. So I'm kind of excited to see what they can whip out for us today. Is there going to be any sort of cheese?
Something else that's weird
I don't
and
know,
wacky.
but if there is a team that's going to pull out some cheese, it's definitely going to be Order
I
Academy.
mean, even that last composition that we did see coming out from UQ, that was weird. No traditional frontline that you did see. Very short in the hourglasses, but it was sort of working for them when the conditions were met. So again, a couple, like as these weeks go on, I think that teams are starting to be like, okay, well, meta's not really getting us result. Maybe if we try something like something weird and wacky, something that's worked for us in solo queue, or just champs that we really know this is a play style that we like.
I've always just been like a big proponent of like comfortability, especially when you get into like competitive games. The difference between like, let's say like Aurelia is 1% better than Akali. Like League of Legends doesn't really work as like a head-to-head, like 1-to-1 sort of like ratio. But like if you give the analogy sort of like a chance, like it doesn't really matter that much. If you can make a difference of I am just straight up like 20% better at this champion, even though it is slightly worse, like who cares? Like
that's the
that
same
thing up,
comparison I make.
work,
I'd
and,
rather have a 200% Aurelia confidence player rather than, you know, I'm 10% on Akali, even though Akali's better, you know?
Also, it's like a much bigger conversation, and I definitely don't think we have time. But I think League of Legends, and it's interesting to me because like I think it is kind of trending in the direction where matchups just don't matter. Like soft counters have always been the thing in League of Legends. Whereas like in other MOBAs, you have like this champion beats this one and you don't get to play the game. That really doesn't exist in League. They're much more nuanced to them.
You can always outskill and outplay them.
But like as you see players like Griffin come into like the scene and just start to dominate on like matchups that you don't really think are like very good, like they just start busting out like lanes like Camille mid, and everybody's like, Camille can't play mid, there's no walls, like he can't do anything, like what the hell is going on? And they just make things work. I feel like League of Legends, like if I'm like a decrepit old man, like looking at League of Legends when I'm 90, like the game, like nobody will care about matchups. It's all about comp, it's all about that sort of stuff. But
you heard it here first.
That's
on the OCS of all places.
Yeah, that's like League of Legends philosophy. That's where I reckon we're going. But we're all the way through the bans. A bunch of OP stuff taken off the board. Aurelia, Silas, and Rise.
The
but that is going to be the Sona.
ban we've seen tonight.
Yeah,
despite him seeing a lot of play.
Yeah. JLKC and Moogie, big Rise players. Both the mid laners here, though. But the Sona does hit the bench, so Mog going to be unhappy that he can't pick that one up for himself.
And another very big target ban would be the Elise for Lisa, showing the proficiency time and time again, but also just the ability to make these picks happen. Elise is gross, right? You get 1 or 2 kills, and then suddenly she just goes from being like, oh, it's Elise, to like, oh, crud, this is Elise.
Yeah, very scary for top laners more than anyone else, right? Elise's tower dive potential, monumental, and it's much easier to make it work topside than anywhere else. Kind of actually does relevant damage if you do get kills in the early game, and you kind of like are that little step ahead as you progress through the game. Actually is all right. Rakan lock-in. I was expecting potentially a Xayah coming through, but that's just going to be an early pick Jace.
So prioritizing the Rakan, and then also prioritizing the Jace over getting the Xayah combo. So thinking that they still have a couple more options now that the Civ has been taken away.
Yeah.
Perhaps then asking Order to use one of those bans, or they'll just walk away with it.
Well, that's the thing, right? They're definitely not going to lose the Xayah. There's no way Order's going to take that one for themselves. But it does kind of, if they want, like if they're going for the duo, then it does lock them in to, like their third pick is just going to be Xayah. They don't have really a lot of room to move in response to Order's picks here. But of course, they did lock down a power pick in the Jace there and have had some success on that fairly recently, I believe. Civi Yumi's going to be the bottom side for Order, which is a tried and true bottom lane. One of the best Yumi matchups there, so big pick up there for Mog.
JLKC was swapping through a couple of different picks before settling on that Nico. And we saw the results just even last game from Riot.
Yeah.
The ability to land those Pop Blossoms. It's really funny, when I watch Nico in pro play, a lot of the times Pop Blossom just feels like a gigantic zoning ulti. But to finally see it connecting, and you're like, wow, I always forget how much damage it actually does. Yeah,
her ratios are kind of bonkers, but you definitely do need flash to make it work. Does, of course, is on that delay, and if the enemies get hit by it, they're probably kind of trolling.
Legacy committing to that Xayah, so they did want it before it can actually reach that stage where they are forcing out a ban from Order. So committing to that duo, as you said.
Okay, LeBlanc ban speaks to me that potentially this Jace could be going into the mid lane. Not wanting any sort of assassins or any sort of lockdown to happen in the early game, and wanted to give him a fine matchup, which is interesting to me. Maybe it doesn't like mean that specifically, but it kind of trends in that direction. But I do believe top Jace is probably where a lot of the competitive picks are going, so it's kind of interesting there. Jungle hasn't been taken by either of these guys, so Sejuani gone, Elise gone, Jarvan now gone, with Order banning that one away.
So what does that really leave in terms of what people like to play? There's still the Hecarim that we saw a lot of play.
Yeah, there's the Rek'Sai, the Skarner. Olaf is definitely
I was going to say
one.
weird stuff like Olaf,
Yeah.
which really is a Dire Cup specialty.
Oh, I don't know, maybe in the OCS, yes, but like kind of Olaf in terms of the competitive landscape right now is just top tier jungler. Especially
but no
given
one wants to pick him up besides Dire Cup.
Especially given that like Sejuani is kind of tier 1 just by nature of what is going on in the solo lanes with like Renekton, Camille, and Aurelia and stuff, but Olaf specifically into Sedge is pretty damn good. As I say, pretty damn good. Lisa's Lee has looked the goods so far this split.
Blast from the past, going straight back to Lee Sin, where it all kind of began.
They had
we just saw nothing but Lee Sin for just a couple of seasons.
Yeah. It's really like Lee. When Lee's at the meta, it's always a good time.
Ugh.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I like playing Akali. I was like, ew, Lee Sin.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Xin Zhao's going to get locked in, so Uni has...
This is again a blast from the past. Wow.
Both of these junglers...
Oh, wait.
More often than not, are like the I want to fight early game guys, so it does make a lot of sense.
Yeah, knew it.
Yeah, no, there's no way that was coming through. Zed would be a pretty baller lock-in here for JLKC. But,
leaving us
potential... Nah, yeah, there's still counter pick available for Legacy, so a Zed lock-in probably would seal your fate. I expect if they were going to go for Zed, it probably wouldn't have been jungle bans. It probably would have been mid lane bans there, but just going to get the Vlad instead. So a bunch of AoE ultis coming through. The Nico, the Vlad, the Yumi. Not to mention Sivir just ricocheting time after time, attack after attack there. Looking for the team fight comp is Order Academy Legacy. Ooh. Oh. I'm so sad.
You just wear your emotions on your sleeve. You're setting yourself up for a bit of disappointment.
That was got to be fun, but it is the wrong patch. It's not 9.12 with the Karma buffs.
Maybe they're showing us a thing of things to come next week.
Yeah, super fun. I like that Karma's speed now matches her shield
length.
I
always hated that it never matched it. Where you just go super fast and then really slow.
Then you just like turn on the brakes and you're still shielded, but you kind of
like if Sonic ran into mud. That's how it feels.
Yeah, okay. It's also like new Sonic. Like old Karma is like new Sonic because you're kind of like, oh, that's kind of cool, I guess. Maybe take a look at it.
I'm actually really keen. Yeah, I want to see her coming back into the swing of things, and also, okay. So if we're kind of theory crafting a little bit, Karma versus a Yumi. in terms of just like the potential. They can match each other quite well.
Fairly decent, I think. Especially given that like Karma has the lockdown, you can go for the Mantra W, and like it kind of, in my head, like you have no targets to pick from. You can't go in the Yumi, right? Like you have Mantra Q to poke, but like if you're ever going to lock down, you really only have the one option in the AD carry, and all you have is one CC, so that kind of does line up a little bit, I guess. You are kind of walking in a straight line, which counteracts you with the Yumi ulti, but if you can bring the boys, certainly it could make it work. Karma, though, on the new patch is certainly broken, but this is not going to be it. It's going to be the Lissandra locked in for Rappy in the top side, so Mages in the top lane. Start of the day was a lot of bruises all over the place, but ending this one off is certainly not the case.
You know, the color palette synergy was so thrown off by Appy's choice as well. You've got like really nice warm tones and then just blue from Lissandra.
I liked the green they've chosen for their border color.
Oh yeah, that's Legacy in a nutshell. But we'll get into this one. You already described a little bit of Order's composition. You described it quite well. It's, again, all about the AoE, all about the team fight composition. Then you do have Legacy, where they have a lot more flexibility in terms of that. They can make the picks, but also they have a lot of poke potential. Yeah,
it's not all too different, given that they do have like a Rakan Liss combo. They have that big engage tool available. Of course, it is actually looking like Liss in the mid lane. So
Stacks on, a little bit of poke now, and free gold straight over to Mog.
We've gone for the Sorcerer's Yumi here. Bit of a debate about Comet versus Sorcerers. Versus Airy. Play too much TFT. I'm worried about bloody Sorcerers. one extra spell damage, but yeah, not going to be the case. Of course, as the Observer just did the old switcheroo. Oh, that's a lot of vision. Appy's going to be in the mid lane facing off against JLKC. So once again, Legacy, new top laner, but still the same old tricks, flipping their solo laners all over the place.
Classic Legacy. But it's nice to have that flexibility.
They didn't spot them walk into this bush. Xayah Rakan, incredibly good level 1. Lisa. Lisa has denied them the opportunity, begging for a leash on his blue buff. That could have been an interesting level 1.
It could have, but not wanting to burn that time. Elisa just being like, I prioritize me getting this with most of my health intact still, please.
Yeah, and interestingly, ORA Academy aren't actually going to go for the full leash. They've maybe just got a Yumi Q or something, but
yeah, they just bounced straight into lane.
Incredibly quickly, because they were around the red buff. They're like, hey, we'll help you out, lol, jokes. And then they leave. K-Pop does a Kuden, looks for the level 1 W and cops a bunch of damage straight in his face.
Nice free trade. Now, this is a good question, right? When do you leave, because you play support, when do you leave your jungler? On what health is the buff?
What do you mean?
Like 300 health, 200 health, 600 health?
I don't think about it as a health value. Yep. It's normally 3 to 4 autos, depending what champion you're playing. AD carries differ, but like on supports, when you have absolutely negative attack speed.
No, I'm just asking from you, personally.
Yeah, no, I have like 3 autos.
3 autos
like
and you're out?
3 autos, and like if you've got a relic user, then you tank an auto to be a nice guy.
I'm super lazy. I do like 600 health, and I'm like, bye.
Yeah.
And then I always get complained to by my jungler friend. I'm like, sorry.
I'm traditionally a fairly good leasher.
If they complain to me long enough, I'll stay longer.
In a team set, in solo queue, I'm definitely a lot more liberal with what I call a leash.
Yeah, you're like 2 orders. I'm done.
Yeah, in my competitive history, Spook's always got a nice little leash for him.
Like if you know the person, you're like, all right, I'll give you a good leash. Send you on your way.
He's a nice enough guy. He deserved a cheeky auto attack here or there.
Nice. I tried to, but yeah, I can definitely be lazy because I'm like alt-tabbing all over the place.
Yeah. Speaking of lazy, Mog has decided not to attach as he tries to throw out his Qs, so... Ooh!
Now finally forced to attach. It's actually going to be a very early Ignite heal combo.
Okay, so yeah, someone a burnt there from K-Pop, but to get a big boatload of chunk damage. Pot is used from Seaway as... does have the Yumi to kind of heal him back up a little bit more. Opportunity looked for by Legacy. If a Ricochet had gone astray there, then... that was potentially turret aggro for the Sivir. No spell shield available to be able to dodge out from that one, so definitely dangerous territory here, but given the support matchup is kind of back almost at full HP here again.
Ben's also just taking the opportunity to poke Moogie whenever the binding does land. That's really going to be a lot of their trading in that top lane, just bit by bit poke damage. Uni just casually strolling on through the mid lane, getting to the rest of his jungle.
Yeah, steals a cheeky bit of XP from his mid laner as he does just kind of waddle across. Both junglers kind of going from bot side to top, fishing around the lane, and it's kind of like, okay, I'm Lee Sin, I can't really help you underneath this turret as a Jace because we know that the Xin Zhao could be a wow. That was Very nice spell shield there from Seaway. Crab will just be picked up by Lisa.
So just trading top to bot. And it's pretty standard. The junglers, as you said, already matching each other. And there hasn't really been any good gank chances just yet. But maybe now, Lisa, maybe spotting a couple of seconds, at least to see if anything can happen before resetting.
Yeah, maybe just shepherding for a counter gank here. He's like, okay, guys, we need to get this lane in. But it does open us up to the opportunity for Uni to kind of look at something. So Lee Sin kind of hovers around for just a little bit, does ultimately just back away. And it is kind of interesting, the jungle matchup to talk about. Xin Zhao really wants to isolate. He wants to find the 1v1, much like
Actually
a Kindred
gets
and stuff like
spotted
that.
out now.
But yeah, we'll not be able to do so early, given that they did match parts and the top crab was conceded to him. So Lisa doing a fairly good job of avoiding Uni in the early levels. There's just no way you're ever going to contest with a Hail of Blades Xin Zhao. Hits a single auto attack and all of a sudden he's just bopping you in the noggin. It's a bad time.
Bopping you sounds so polite. Like, it's mostly just, like, you're dead.
Yeah.
You just blink and you're dead.
He bops it, he twists it, and then he stabs you in the face with a spear.
Okay, that's definitely like the M-rated version of the movie.
I was going for like the, wait, what? No, I was going for like the, you know, like
yeah,
the bop it.
I know, but you went from bop it to like bop it, twist it, kill it. I was like, jeez.
Yes.
That escalated
It's a
very
sharp
quickly.
turnaround with Xin Zhao.
Yeah.
He's not a nice guy.
I think he's pretty nice.
He's a bad guy.
I always just have Mulan soundtracks. I'm like, I'll make a man out of you, and I'm just like, the best. That's all you need with Xin Zhao. You feel so empowered.
It's definitely iconic. Definitely iconic Mulan territory. But bit of a roam coming,
Oh, jinx. But that's going to be Appy. Does get spotted out by the wall. Doesn't actually matter. Flashes for the ultimate, and that's going to be first blood. Getting the teleport now. They can 3v1 this if they choose to. JLKC actually opens up with the ultimate, forcing a flash from Draken, but it's not going to be enough. Forced to back away.
Yeah, very nice block there from K-Pop. Denies the E from Vladimir and denies all kill threat available. Remember, it's no heal for the Zyra Khan duo lane. They just have the Ignite. They went for the aggressive option, and they won't be able to find that one. Mugi flashes because he thought a flash was coming, and Vans just didn't press the button there, so flash for nothing trade here, but Lisa is in the territory. Ward hops over the wall, finds himself a Xin.
Uni actually sidesteps that one, actually now starting to go straight down onto Lisa. Mugi tries to get the poke, and now the disengage.
Yeah, such a weird 2 versus 2 there happening. Thought Lisa used his ward over the wall, of course, to get into the play. Didn't have access to the W, and I'm surprised Uni just didn't bop him in the head this time, but did kind of rescind that one. Mugi stuck underneath his turret, so no follow-up really was available for the Lee Sin.
Appy straight back into the mid lane, using the teleport to not miss too much tempo, but already setting himself up, setting that lane up quite nicely as well in bot lane, just buying them a little bit of space.
Advantage really goes towards the bottom side, right? Like they are in the lane matchup where they've gone for the aggressive, the Zyra Khan, they have the Ignite, they're constantly looking for these ones. Mog, can you please land on your AD carry before you throw your Qs? You're able to target them. And that would be ideal as he looks for a hit. There we go. That's 100% hit rate as he's attached to Seaway.
Coaching.
I like that one. I reckon he's also the kind of guy that will DM me after the broadcast. So I'm more than willing to sit here coaching Mog.
You know when you did the Sona shout out and then he tweeted about it? I couldn't stop laughing.
Yeah, and he was just like, oh. No, because he told me after their quadruple Sona game that, oh yeah, I misclicked. I didn't mean to take Klepto. And the whole game, I'm just like, man, this guy's like...
He's balling.
He's balling, he's rolling in bank. Like, he doesn't care about laning phase. Look, he's so brave. And then afterwards, he's like, oh, lol, I misclicked. My hands were cold. Sorry, it's winter. I was like, all right.
Yeah, it is winter. These guys are all playing from home.
Yeah.
Don't have the heater. It can get pretty brutal. I think it's like 3 degrees.
Yeah, you don't have those patented Riot Games, like, stage hand warmers that you get.
What?
You know, you watch LCS, you're watching OPL, whatever, and all the players are like, they have the little hand warmers.
Oh, yeah. But I didn't know they were like patent. I thought they were just those little...
They're not patent.
Oh, okay. I was like, wow, okay, we've invested our technology into all of this.
Yeah.
I do want one, though. The moment yeah, I want one.
That's a good time. Definitely a good time, but Legacy still with the advantage down here, looking to pressure it. That's an engage.
Big play in the mid lane. JLKC gets taken out, and that's really the fear of Lissandra coming out right there. The point and click stun.
Not able to pull anything, locked down by the Liss. Execute damage there from Lisa, and Dragon's Rage able to kick him in the face. So another kill goes the way of Red Side, and another knock-up goes to K-Pop.
Oh, actually forcing out the Yuki ulti right there. It does manage to get the snare and the root.
Oh. Unattaches off the...
Where is Lisa?
He just popped. 3 dragon auto attacks in the sky.
That was beautiful.
Oh my
And I'm
God.
so glad that our observer caught that.
Oh my God.
Well, he was dashing to the dragon as it knocked him back, right? And that's why he flew.
Yeah, he hops on the lawnmower and his people meet him in outer space. He zooms up to the clouds. Oh, I'm so glad I was here to witness that.
Me
Oh, that's
too.
a good time.
So, memorable moments.
Yeah.
Jake eating a fly as he was casting, and that now. 10 out of 10.
I've had some interesting experiences in this room. This is...
Yeah, you dropped your water bottle all over the table.
Formative experiences.
That was beautiful. Okay.
Yep. Great
But,
job, Lisa.
I mean,
What
with
a
Lisa's
performance.
trouble, still managing to get the Ocean Drake.
Yeah.
Show 'em who's boss in the end.
Yeah.
That's right, Lisa.
Riot wasn't happy with that conversation and wanted to deny them the dragon, but apparently that is not the case, so... Gold advantage, still minimal, but all of the kills in the hands of Legacy right now. Order looking to get access to the mid lane, but Appy's Claw is enough to buy him some safety.
Uni getting aggressive, but yeah, unable to do anything. But there in the bot lane, we're doing heaps. Seaway forced to retreat completely. Mog, he's going to be left alone. He's completely detached now and completely vulnerable, but they don't have any more follow-up just yet.
Oh.
But they do! The feather, the rip back, as you said. Enough damage to secure that second kill.
Such a slow cat. No flash available. Doesn't even take the summoner, so he just falls down. And that was just the ulti mismatch, right? They burnt Book earlier in the straight 2 versus 2, and Legacy are like, okay, when our cooldowns come up, we can engage. They won't have the response there, and that was exactly how it played out. Lisa now calling with his mid laner. Appy floating down temporarily, hits the plant, but... That's demolished proc. That's a couple of plates, and Uni wants access to top side. Here it is.
Blossom. It just gets denied by Mugi with his quick thinking. Uni actually flashing under for that one. Might get taken out in the process.
Okay.
Actually does get the trade.
Yeah, 1-for-1 trade is good for Mugi in that situation. No flash available. We saw him burn that earlier as Vans unfortunately couldn't land the Pop Blossom, but turret race is on. Nico alone topside, but this is round 2 on the dive down here. Order in trouble.
Legacy completely surrounding.
Knock
It's going to be the knock up to get things started off. Book is trying to connect. It won't be enough. Very, very clean from
Lisa?
Legacy.
Is he dead? Shield?
Nah.
Barely just enough.
Oh
As
my
K-pop
gosh, K-pop.
scrapes along with his life. And very well played there. A 4 versus 2. Spell shield and summoners available for Siva Yumi, but...
JLKC, he didn't know that K-pop was there, but he still felt threatened enough to make sure that he retreated to his turret. Just delaying the recall for a few seconds.
Yeah, and I actually really respect that. That was decisive stuff at a Legacy. They look top side, and it's like, okay, we see the Xin Zhao. Oh, we got a 1-for-1 trade. That's very good. If we go bottom side, there can be no response. The numbers will be in our favor, and to make it work, they barely scrape by with their lives at the back end, and now you have a 4-0 Xayah. We saw a scary one last game, and it's looking to be a repeat here for Drakon.
Well, the gold lead is really starting to stack up time and time again, but really, as you said, the biggest benefactor of all of that is Drakon, is that Xayah, and just by empowering them with that gank again, it's just made this bot lane completely shut down now. For Seaway and Mog, they just need to wait till lanes break at this point.
Yep. Dragon off the map means that the flip will come here for Legacy. K-pop doing a very nice job of pulling out Uni as Rift Herald's doing all the damage, but just keeping him busy for the time being. This is a commit though, the entire bottom lane here for Order. TP is available for Appy now, just came off cooldown, so they may look for a flank if they wanted, but Legacy are slow to this play here.
Shelly taking time to die, but they
They
do
didn't
get
pick it
it,
up.
but they haven't managed to pick up the Herald. Feeling too threatened. Lisa is bullying them. The rest of the members now of Legacy are still bullying them off it. They cannot go. They don't want to take this fight.
The Shelly standoff. Starting out here, very nice route onto
Alright,
the
there you
Xayah.
go. Just like that, though. Once they get a connect, they force a flash up from Dragon. They force a Feather Storm.
Uni
It's going to
got
be
it.
Lisa that tries to go in. Lisa is so low. Gets the pick finally onto Seaway. Uni trying to make a play now. It's going to be a double kill over to Lisa. Mog is now taken out. That's a triple.
And yes, they pick up Shelly, but they monstrously lose the fight. 3 kills in the hands of Elise, and he's already got a blade there. The Serrated Dirk working on the full damage build here. 4 kills apiece between multiple carries and Legacy. Gold lead exploding to 4,000. This is plating dying just before that 14-minute mark, so extra gold to boot.
So we talked about how Draken was starting to be that real threat, but now Lisa, their jungler, has completely shut down Uni. So systematically, it's going to be lane by lane. And all that just came down to was that Order, they did get the pick. They did manage to line the bind. They didn't do anything wrong, but the response from Draken was just flawless.
Yeah, Feather Storm dodges out from the follow-up damage, and then he flashes out a Pop Blossom, and it was just barely enough space to get out of range. And I really respect Lisa already having the serrated Dirk. This wasn't, oh wow, I just got a triple kill, now I'm going to go full AD. He was just like, oh wow, I already have a serrated Dirk, I'm building Dustblade, lol, here's more gold by a phage. That's,
I like that you added the lol in there.
Yeah, like, you know
Is
what I mean?
that Lisa? Like typing lol?
Yeah, it's a cheeky little, oh, okay, this is getting even worse.
You felt blessed by that dragon, let's be real.
Yeah, it doesn't, oh yeah.
Wouldn't you?
It's good luck.
It is.
Did you know? He got thrown to the League of Legends gods and came down
He
to
did.
a triple
They
kill.
blessed him. He saw things no man should.
Oh, that is a good time. That is absolutely a good time. Next dragon is on the cards, though. He's the air dragon. Not the best, but a bootless Lee Sin. Cares about absolutely nothing right now as Legacy trying to maintain control of this mid lane.
Mog clearing out some vision, making sure that they're not that they're not giving up more than they should. And the Order just trying to stem a lot of the bleeding that's happening.
Mog finds himself in a little bit of trouble. Cops almost his full HP bar here, but able to attach to Uni. Still, Rift Herald you have to mention in the back pocket of the Xin Zhao, but with no lanes pushing in is very difficult to actually extract value from, so... Yugi over the wall gets a shot while the rest of his team is just taking down the dragon.
That's going to be another free dragon on the side of Legacy, but Order are in no position to be able to contest that one. They're even just scared to really just go out into their jungle because there's so much coverage as well from Legacy.
Oh, Mugi in a lot of trouble here, though. No blasting plan, so the flash has to come as three... okay, that's a TP.
Oh, but immediately Seaway is their attention. 3 of them in the mid lane, also getting that turret now.
Yeah, okay. Dive coming through. K-pop burnt the ulti, so he landed the knock-up, landed the CC, and they get the advantage. Mugi was interesting play, was worried about the continual commit. And I think he just flash TP'd over the wall immediately, maybe banking on no vision being
Lisa
in the bush. But
trying to maybe go for that gank.
Yeah,
Appy not willing to commit to that one just yet. If the claw was up, could have potentially interrupted the recall, but just deciding against it. But now they get the turret for free.
Yeah, turret will go down. You can see Uni now tracking towards top side. I'll be curious to see if he does stop at the blue buff. I expect not, because the Rift Herald is timing out very quickly. Single charge will break this turret, so they will get something for it. It is 16 minutes, so no plates, but that's going to be the cast there. And first turret broken here for Order Academy.
So at least they get some gold into their banks, but as I said, it's all about stemming the bleeding for them. Because really, they've just given up a lot in terms of you do have your AD carry and your bot lane. Together, they've got 8 deaths between them, and that's just a rough time. And a lot of that was just through systematically Legacy, knowing where the jungler was, keeping tabs, and then just rotating accordingly. Yeah, and it wasn't straight 2 versus 2. Yes, there was that fight. They got taken down, but it was the roam early from Appy, and then it was the secondary roam. They bring down Lisa for the redive, and the help just never really came for Order, but Legacy all on the same page here, and Seaway Mog certainly receiving a lot of hate in this one. Having a very rough time, as you mentioned. Probably a generous way to put it so far. First item now completed for the Sivir. Essence Reaver. Get mega value out of that one. The CDR is definitely nice for the ulti cooldown for the rest of your boys. Talked about Vans on the Nico. Struggling without flash to get into the backline. Extra move speed only makes that easier for himself and the Vladimir. So the Wombo will probably always be a threat here from Order Academy, but Legacy definitely in the driver's seat in this one. I have no doubt on the side of Legacy as well. If that Baron, once it becomes available, if they get even just one pick, they have the experience, they have the expertise to be able to really use that one to snowball things even further. So something that you really need to keep tabs on for Order Academy.
They've even got the Medjai stacks as...
Ooh, Appy doesn't actually commit to that one as soon as he spots out JLKC.
Yep, spots him on the wave. Working on the 25 stacked Medjais is the list.
Mid lane though, everything's happening right there. The last turret shot actually manages to snag K-pop.
Okay, turnaround play there. Lisa having to dodge out of that one. Gets away to the rest of his team. Looking to pressure the top lane turret here. Drakon cops a bunch of damage. Order are on the chase here.
Still has Featherstorm available. Things get real hairy. Hoping that he doesn't need to use it. Vans is actually in the chase. Forces the flash. Again, Drakon uses a Featherstorm and flash to get out of harm's way.
Yeah, Vans trades the flash for flash. Burns it and predicts the juke with the E, so Summoner burnt there from Drakon. Huge advantage, you have to think. Given how much gold Desire has.
Lisa peeling himself.
Big target. Okay. Bit of an ambitious play there. Keeps to safety and gets himself...
Has the level 1 boots now. We're seeing an improvement.
Oh, yeah.
Almost getting speed.
I mean, he just had a better buy at every point. He's had like a clean component every single time, whether it's a Phage, a Dirk, a Kindle Gem.
Appy also trading that Dark Seal for the Medjai, 7 stacks on that one, so feeling real good about this one. I I hate that with Lissandra? I'm always like 1-7 or like 1-9. I can never get that last bit of burst, and I'm like, ah. So the Magi's is like a nice way to get that, like, you know, I'm still helping the team, but this way I get stronger too.
Yeah, it's one of those somewhat counterintuitive Magi stack users. It's kind of like at the point in 2019, Dark Seal, you take it for laning prowess, right? And then if you have enough stacks, it's like, oh yeah, I can get a Magi's. Like, that didn't cost me a lot, and it's a significant burst of AP, but somewhat counterintuitive on a dive threat. You want to get for the flank, you want to get towards the back line. Very prominent to dying once you're in back there. But now, 15 seconds on the Baron. Legacy, for the last couple of minutes, have been struggling to make things stick. It was a death onto K-pop. It was a flash from Lisa, and a couple of picks almost went astray. But now, with the big purple worm, they have kind of a reason to drag Order Academy out from underneath their turrets.
Rest of the members of Order Academy trying their best to group and just carefully going into the Baron pit where they know that Legacy has set up a lot of vision. But Legacy also trying to group now. They might actually clash with Order, depending on how they play this one.
Yeah, mid lane control. The pink board there is definitely going in the hands of Legacy. Dragon spawning as well. You can see Lisa tracking immediately over towards that one. Now has the Black Cleaver completed, so this is the Lee Sin sitting on a boatload of CDR right now, feeling very good about the cooldowns and the damage coming through. Once again, it's one of those games where Order Academy, their comp doesn't have the instant CC, right? It's the 3 auto attacks from Uni, it's the 3 waves of Book from Mog. They don't have the immediate lockdown there, and it will be hard for them to force things if they find an opportunity, but still looking to pressure around the lanes as Legacy set this one up.
Third Dragon as well, picked up by Legacy. That's going to be another Ocean Drake, so helping them if they do want that 1-3-1. But Moogie, the flash doesn't quite go, and that's going to be a mistake that ends in his death. K-pop is here, though, as is Dragon Epi with the teleport, and they do get the trade. The Pop Blossom is going to lock them up. It doesn't even matter, though. Appy manages to walk away with that. Sorry, Lisa walks away with that.
It was just a bait. Moogie face tanks the wall.
Hang
and
on,
unfortunately,
Seaway and Lisa.
Yeah.
Okay,
Order
so 3
Academy
for none.
Face check a Legacy there, and the fight goes their way. JLKC, the lone man standing with a cat in his shoulder to try and defend this Baron, as Legacy trying to hide around the wall. They don't have ultis available, bar the Featherstorm, which probably isn't all that useful in locking someone down, but does have that extra little bit of safety. Here comes the 2-man contest here. Baron
is it going to be enough to try and poke them off?
6K.
Baron is at about half health. You do see JLKC.
Oh, big chunk.
They're poking as much as he can with the help of Mog. Then showing no signs on the side of Legacy to trying to stop. That's going to be Book coming out with the pull.
Oh!
That's going to be the ultimate. And just like that, JLKC is starting to get the shutdown. It's going to be a triple kill. He's looking for more. Finally, Mookie is here, but Mog is showing no signs of slowing down. And just like that, Order get the flip ace.
And out of nowhere, JLKC, the 1-man in the backline, 4-man Hemo play, blows up Legacy. Gold lead all but gone. 3,000 it's dropped to, and now they're getting the Baron after a huge team fight loss. Holy.
I just don't have words.
That was Legacy. 4 members on the Baron. Yes, they don't have a tank, and you see the poke is actually hurting there for the Yuumi. They even get the flank from Moogie behind him, but Book goes wide, so effectively a 1 versus 4, right? Yes, he has the speed boost of the Zoomies. Yes, he has that little bit of extra HP, but no CC to lock them down. That was everything done by the Vladimir, and he just wipes the floor with Legacy.
That's going to be the Baron play. Like I said, for Legacy, they felt safe enough. I mean, wouldn't you? You had 3 members down from Order Academy, except for JLKC, who, well, he was just going to be the one to just pull their team composition apart. But also just the poke. They didn't really... I like the way that they had a lot of patience. Like, they didn't just charge in there and just throw themselves at it, as sometimes you do see in, like, solo queue. They really waited, and then once the poke was enough, once Baron had done enough damage, goes in for the cleanup.
The problem for Legacy is that it really didn't have a tank. Normally when it's like a team does Baron and they have like a frontliner, Sejuani, a Poppy or something, they can just sit there and it doesn't really matter how long they have to wait because the armor values are just so high. But when you've got a Merc Treads Lee Sin with just a tiny little health pool to play with no resistances to boot is kind of a rough one for Legacy to stick around on, as this is against a Baron. The base race is a possibility here, and it looks like Order Academy are actually going to commit to it. They are so far behind in terms of tempo.
JLKC, the only one going back so far. No, the rest of the members, they actually respect that push from Legacy. So just like that, Legacy, they think that you think that they were trying to be a little bit more passive, really just starting to regroup, but just like that, through that smart macro decision, they're actually now forcing Order back yet again. So although Order started to get back into the game, it's not going to be enough.
Legacy actually just left Lisa on his lonesome for a second there. Ward is going to get into safety, but yeah, you're right. That was against the flow of Baron. Normally it's like Baron team sets up the map, you get to deploy and you have to respect it, but Legacy kind of calling the bluff there, and call the bluff they absolutely did. A couple of cancelled recalls there from Order meant they were a little bit slow to the play. Bottom inhib turret does fall, as I really like the pickup. You can see Drakon got wiped by a Vladimir at Baron, and he's like, alright, that's a Hex Drinker.
Oh, Seaway flirting with a bit of danger here.
Yeah, single spell shield for 2 members. May not be enough to keep the safety. That's a pick on
in
the
the side though, yes. K-Pop is going to be the one that potentially falls. The last bit of Hemoplague surely going to pick up the kill. There it goes. JLKC walks away from that one.
1-for-1 is the trade. Lisa finds access onto Seaway there, as the Sivir does have to flash away from the Q. Very nice pick up there from Order. You can see all of a sudden after that Baron play, able to get much more control on the map, looking for these fights, able to find a cheeky pick onto K-Pop, and he's almost been caught multiple times, but has been able to kind of slip away. But this time he does fall down, and with the Baron, this probably should be the remaining outer turret here.
Yep, rest of Order Academy trying to push up with that one, actually forcing the Feather Storm right there. A lot of the members are rooted. Luckily though for Vans, it was the clone that managed to take a lot of that damage under the turret.
Okay, Lee Syndrome pays off there for Lisa. Baits out the stopwatch and the ulti from Vans. W's to safety. That's a flank from Appy.
On the side, immediately straight onto Vans with the combo, and that's going to be a free kill.
Yeah, very easy pick. TP, actually no, doesn't TP back on the map. Actually just walked from bottom side and is going to be the 3rd Ocean Dragon for the 2nd time today. Legacy able to pick themselves up that one, and they're wanting to continue the pressure. Sivir with a little bit of a flank here, but not the best flanking champion as they do just concede and the turret goes down.
So Legacy, again, yes, they had a little bit of that slip up at Baron, but they show no signs of really stopping. In fact, again, they're starting to carve out that gold lead for themselves, starting to distance themselves. It's really admirable for a team like that, especially mentally when you've given up such a huge objective in a fight like that, to just get straight back into it.
Yeah, it really was, right? Like, and it wasn't like, oh, we wait out for Baron, and then we start doing things. It was much more of the, oh, they have Baron, let's run bot and take their inhib turret. Very nice call from them there. Certainly still in the driver's seat so far. Order Academy have more access to control than they did before. Mog has actually bought himself some boots. You often see Yumi's go without, but given that he has been kind of left on his lonesome every now and again, wants that extra little bit of move speed. Saw the Spooky Ghost on your screen. Kind of looks a little bit whack given that it came out of nowhere, but just a very useful tool as a side laner. Nico, of course, has the active available, but if you don't have vision of your jungle, which they don't, they basically have that pink wall that is under Yumi's face right now. And checking your jungle with the Spooky Ghost is kind of a freebie. Cooldown on the ability is very low, as Appy doesn't have vision right here.
Ooh, the snare almost connects, but that's actually going to be the fire hose to connect on up. Seaway uses the ultimate, forcing the flash, but the slow does land, followed by Book. Appy is buying as much time for himself as possible as 4 members are in the mid lane, and actually Vans! He's trying his best, but that's the power of Lissandra. That's the stalling. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, though, they were trying to see if they could get any advantage, but they're unable to on the side of Legacy.
Appy bought a lot of time, but I think JLKC actually just altered the wave. Legacy were looking for the push there, but Order are able to stave that one off. So now a 4 versus 5 on the map. Baron not available for another 30 seconds, but you see the resets come through and walking out of base together. Order want to wrestle back some of this topside control. They haven't had much of it as of late, and Legacy drop a nice bunch of vision in their topside jungle around the blue buff that did just spawn. Order looking to fight back right now. TP is available for the list as soon as he comes back alive, so can get to the play quickly, but much more even right now. Root lands.
That's actually a really nice root that does come up. Unfortunately, they're unable to collapse onto it just yet. It's going to be the reverse. Gank onto Seaway right there from Rakan. Lisa going in, gets the Dragon's Kick, and that's going to be Appy with the teleport and the cleanup onto Vans. Now they're going straight onto Mog. That's going to be another kill, and then also cleaning up someone in the top lane.
K-Pop lands the engage that they need. He gets onto Seaway. Unfortunately, the spell shield was not there for the Sivir. Sitting 2-7, having a very rough one right now, and eyes on the second Baron buff of the game. Last time, they lost it to a Vladimir. Alarm bells ringing as JLKC rears his head on a spot of vision right now. Legacy.
No this time, but trying to repeat the play, being a nuisance too. Draken knows that the Featherstorm isn't up, but actually through the S&3 he manages to get the double kill. He's doing it again. Appy trying to take out this threat, managing to root him into place.
Oh.
Uni follows up with the Guardian Angel being proc, but JLKC keeps him at bay for the second time.
And Vladimir laughing out of his pool is exactly what JLKC is feeling right now. That's twice he has just been one man, walked at Legacy's Baron take and been able to stave that one off. If ORA get this once again, this is a straight up 1v9 performance from the Vladimir. Gold lead, same as last time, was huge there for Legacy. They're looking to make it even bigger, break open the map, but back to even after this one. The steal is on though. Lisa over the wall, pings on his head. They know he's around.
Only Lisa, and looks like they're committing to the recall. That's going to be the ultimate coming from Seaway, and also Vans trying to really choke out any access Lisa has. Mugi over the wall, same thing. Tries to go for the sneak, can't quite get it. That's going to be Baron secured over to ORA.
Oh, and for Legacy fans, you're sitting here, maybe third time's the charm. When's Baron next spawning? It's 5 minutes and 50 seconds away if you can get there. This Vladimir is absolutely monstrous. Pops his Spellbinder, it's going to skirt away from that one. Picks up the Raptor Pip, but he's already level 18. He's 3 levels over his mid lane opponent. Appy is level 15.
Keeps cleaning up.
Doesn't have rank 3 ulti, and this Vladimir is just disgusting.
They managed to spot the last of his recall, but they're not going to do that. Seaway as well, just clearing out the vision, has that intel right there. But this time for ORA Academy, it's not going to be that base race. They've already done that play for Legacy, so now it feels like they have to actually weather this Baron Storm.
This is a man on a mission. Every single member of ORA Academy is negative, bar the Vladimir. That's a 2-7-1-4 bottom lane. Jungle is no better in that regard, and Vladimir is absolutely popping off. The one threat still alive. Once again, doesn't have the flash available. So they have the Baron, yes, setting up the map with it is difficult, given that Legacy have just had so much control over the side lanes. Next Dragon, rather, is spawning. Mountain Dragon, first one of the game, and you can see Legacy kind of sitting around this one. Uni in trouble.
Well, Seaway actually in even more trouble, forcing the very, very early flash and book. Appy, though, uses the ultimate onto Vans, who does receive the heal. But now that JLKC is here, they're able to mop this one up. That's 2 kills over to ORA Academy.
And Spell Shield is the difference. Seaway this time, he hits the charm with the E button, and K-Pop does nothing. 2 members dead. From double Baron setups here for Legacy, a gold lead the entire game. ORA are knocking on the door of their base.
That's going to be it for ORA. They managed to sneak this one in with Baron, and they show no signs of stopping. JLKC playing very, very aggressively, going in for that. Looks like ORA want to try and back up Mugi with a nice bit of poke, but they're respecting their opponents.
Big chunk from the Jace, but you have to note that JLKC still has his ulti. He lands at the play, cleans someone up with an EQ combo, but hasn't even had to burn the Hemo Plague. Inhibit now broken in the mid lane. Dragon picked up.
ORA as well for the first time. They're starting to get that gold lead swing to their advantage now.
And items completed. I think he's had the Mikhails for a while, but super useful here in the hands of Mog. Specifically for the Vladimir, right? He hasn't gone for the Zhonyas or anything like that. He's got the move speed build, has a bunch of AoE there picked up. If he gets hit with a Liss ulti, then not much he can do about it, but now that you have a Crucible in the hands of the Yuumi, you can speed her in with the Zoomies as well. Seaway knows his place and is like, yeah, I'll get a QSS. You don't have to use that button on me. As for probably the first time this game ORA have a gold lead. Not significant, but given how much gold was standing left on the map,
You know, it's
huge turnaround.
the things went a little bit different, and ORA had those oceans. Even at least 2 of them, they could have definitely just used the regen stage and tried to go for the end there.
Because against a Jace, like Triple Ocean Dragon definitely feels good. Pick that one up, get to regen all of the poke back. I will say Mugi did exponentially more damage with that EQ than I thought he would. ORA isn't the tankiest lineup, but kind of hit 4 of them with a single shock blast, and they all dropped 400 health each, if not more. But ORA now looking to set up top side of the map. Being able to check bushes with Yuumi is definitely nice for a fairly squishy jungle combination.
Yep, going straight to claim the red and then just set up some vision of their own for Order. They don't have any more Baron, so now we're still waiting. The next 2 big objectives in a couple of minutes, if Order are unable to get anything else, will be that Elder Dragon and Baron dance.
Yeah, the big problem for Order is that they don't want to commit to a fight. I was saying earlier, like, yes,
Seaway almost in a bit of trouble, but Mog able to heal him right back up.
Yeah, like, it's difficult for them to start a fight. It's not like they can just walk at Legacy and be like, here's an Alistar, here's a Sejuani, let's go. And they have no TPs, so Legacy, they have control. Bottom side, they're pushing in with Mugi, and no TP in the hands of Vans or JLKC means that nobody realistically can go and match him. Sivir isn't the best target to throw into a Jace. We'll be able to deal with the wave, but you don't really want your AD carry to be playing in the side lane. A lot of your sustained AD comes from that one, so... Legacy, despite losing multiple Barons, have defended both of them fairly well. Order not making much use of the last one, but each time the gold lead does get equalized, each time, like clockwork, the Vladimir walks towards the pit and just wipes the floor with Legacy. Happy gets hit in the face with a Q. Guardian propped.
Mog actually spots out where they are. They knew that something was up on the side of Order Academy, so just scouting out those bushes without face checking. And they know that this is a crucial time because they do have that open lane in terms of Legacy that they would then push through if they find some picks.
Yeah.
But then same too goes on the flip side. If Legacy are picked, then Order have a straight path from the Nexus in mid lane.
Yeah, certainly is. They don't even need Baron. If they win a fight, they can just run straight up towards the Nexus. 50 seconds on the last Baron, and you better, like, absolutely bet that Legacy are...
They're scared of that.
Gotta be pretty nervous setting that one up.
I would be scared of that, yeah.
Vladimir has been completely capped. Finishes Zhonya's last item, so now has the extra stasis on the back end. Xayah is one of the better AD carries at dealing with it. Doesn't have a Grievous Wounds. Actually, nobody has Grievous Wounds. No, Jace does, so Mugi cops it there. We'll be able to pick that one up. He needs to be able to hit the Vladimir if they are to win this fight, but even then, JLKC, it's not the sustain that is troubling, it's the ability to just literally one-hit the entire Legacy lineup here.
And that's just his position to really shine. He knows that all the members are going to be there. They're not split at all. And that's just the fights that he's looking for, the conditions that he's looking for. It's scary, right? When you have these team compositions where it's all about the team fight, it's all about the big AoE. You can see how much of it as well. Pop Blossom, if you don't get hit by the Hemo Plague, it's going to be Pop Blossom that you need to watch out for as well.
Yeah, there's just multiple layered AoE ultis there.
Order actually starting this one up, whether it's going to be a bait.
Mugi's in bottom lane, potential force TP here from Order.
They want to force Legacy into the pit. Baron is almost at half. Lisa is still over the wall, perhaps going to be looking for that steal. Uni wants to get rid of that vision. Appy doesn't have the claw anymore, and they do get the Baron. Lisa able to flirt with danger, but get themselves out.
Okay, the call is the steal, but that's the slow
right
onto
Draken, forcing the Feather Storm out. Draken does flash, but instead, Seaway gets picked. Rest of the members now just collapsing onto Drakon, but he's doing enough damage. The Guardian Angel does proc. JLKC trying to do what he can in the backline, but he's forced to back away. The Hemo Play goes out. Finally, the heal comes through. Now he's coming online. The rest of the members trying to get the rest of Legacy on the cleanup.
Yeah, but a race against the clock here. Appy desperately trying to defend the resets here, but
forcing the teleport from
Vans. Vans is low. Nice route onto Mugi.
He stems a lot of the flow from Mugi. Mugi's still pushing up, seeing what he can do. Vans healing up just enough. And Mugi's actually committing to this one, just desperately trying to do his best. Does get both Nexus turrets down.
Okay, fight is won there. TP gets Appy to safety. You have to think from vision. Does it on a pink ward, so they know exactly what's going on. But once again, Order get the third Baron of the game. This time they set it up. This time the steal was the option there from Legacy. Lisa, cheeky little look over the wall, unable to lock that one down. And teamfight goes their way. Consolation Dragon afterwards. Elder in the bank, double super buffs here for Order, and for a game where Legacy has had the gold lead, have had all the control, Order may just be looking on the door of an end.
They would be. Mugi still has that teleport up, as does Drakon. I think the potential for a backdoor is very, very real, but they don't have any wards to teleport onto. K-Pop on the flank.
Yeah, K-Pop has a huge flank available here. Has the flash as well on the Rakan. Appy caught, ulti pop.
That's going to be also the pool pop from JLKC, but it doesn't matter. Appy gets completely destroyed now that Seaway is online. The inhib goes down. The rest of the members of Order Academy, they want this win. They want this upset. They're pushing on in. It's going to be the first Nexus turret to go down. JLKC, he's trying to bait them out. Members of Legacy know that they have to fight for this one, and they know that their base is rapidly falling on down. JLKC focusing on that one. I wonder if it's going to be enough damage, but yes, Order Academy managed to get the upset onto Legacy.
And what a victory from Order. Huge turnaround game there. Legacy coming steaming out of the gate. So much of an advantage. That was like a quadra triple kill. Lee Sin, he goes back and is like, yeah, this game's going sick. I'm buying full damage.
That was a man on a mission. If we were giving out MVPs, you and I would just be praising JLKC.
That was actually... Like, that wasn't a 1v5, that was a 1v9.
Yeah.
His bottom lane
absolutely
had like 10 deaths by, not 15 minutes, probably
They
a
were
little
completely
late,
shut
like
down and out of this game.
That was solo defense on Baron buff, solo defense on Baron buff. Get themselves the Baron, the Elder, last time around.
If you told me that game was going to go like that, I would have said no way.
Yeah, no, that's actually, that was just sick. You actually just like seeing that. This is our remote, guys. Yeah, no, that was actually so cool. That was PogChamp performance, JLKC, huge MVP, big fan.
So in his respect, I wouldn't be surprised if people were scared enough to even give him a respect ban in the weeks coming up to this one, if he wanted to have that, if the composition looked like it was going to vie towards something like that again. But each member really started to pick up the pace. Yes, Seaway did get caught in that last fight, but it didn't really matter at that point. They still had enough momentum. I like that call by Mugi to try and get what he could out of the bot lane. Maybe open it up to a backdoor, but it wasn't meant to be. No wards they could like TP onto.
You can see like there was actually like a genuinely like it was competing calls, right? And like Legacy are doing one thing, Order Academy are doing the other. Like Mugi was just hardcore. He was just steaming with his Jace gate like towards the inhib, and everybody split off to allow Lisa. It's like, okay, if he looks for the steal, doesn't get it and dies, we don't want to lose more members.
Yeah, if Vance died there, Mugi potentially could have ended.
Yeah.
In time.
Yeah, he was like tanking up the creeps, but if, as you mentioned, like if Vans dies, then it's not Baron creeps. Appy did very well to deny all the bases, but unfortunately could not do enough. JLKC and the rest of the Order boys were able to pick up that victory. Third one on blue side of the day, winning more games so far, but don't go anywhere, guys. Banger of a match, Bombers versus Gravitas Academy to round out the day.